Hello and welcome to the PLAP. I remember it so I don't have to. Welcome to the Super PLAP Super Show. It's only me here today, your good old Krez, aka Kreditor, aka a variety of other names. And I have here with me the one, the only, the single, maybe, as I.
Single. I'm. That's right. That's right, ladies. Um, come and get me. Come and get me before I'm taken.
Yes.
Ladies or guys. If you
Or,
look
or guys that identify as
nice.
ladies or ladies that identify as guys.
Just whatever. Just if you look like the Doomer femboy, Bojack, hell yeah.
Do you want to restart?
That's all right. Hey, we can put my fucking Tinder bio at the start. I don't have a Tinder, but if it was, if I did, that would be it.
Oh man! So you never actually tried using Tinder?
No. My dad suggested that I do, but I don't know if I'm that interested in getting a relationship. Maybe now. It's just I used to have the idea that there would be all kinds of like annoying parts to it, but then maybe you could just get a relationship without the annoying parts, and just mainly the parts that are nice.
I get the feeling that people that seek out relationships like all the time are people who don't have someone to bounce off of all the time. So they don't have like a best friend, they don't have a brother or sister or anything like that, or don't have good relations with them. So people that have those things, I guess, are more likely to not seek out relationships all the time, or not be good at seeking them out. Because all my one single children in the family friends, they are very successful in the domain. I'm not. But
they're successful in what?
In seeking out relationships and maintaining them and having them fall apart and having them that change them forever, and then kind of defaulting to the basic state, and then maybe I don't know.
Like the opposite of an anime where it's like you just build up tension and don't really do anything. Or a harem anime where it's like you get the part where you form relationships, but you don't do the other half of the relationship where you unform them.
Right. Yeah. That the girls in harem shows, they're never really interested in anything other than being the subject of affection of a person who they have extremely low standards for.
I'll say it has been a while since I watched anime. Maybe there's some ones that do like a good job of that, where like the other characters are like the harem girls are individuals. I feel like there are where it's more like, oh, the main character has like romantic tension with a bunch of characters, but it's not like it's not like a harem in the sense of, I feel like a harem usually in the normal sense means something more like what? My brain is like trying to figure out a polite way of saying it.
Okay, so the way harems, I guess, used to work in real life, or do work, is it's mostly like a societal construct thing where like, oh, the guy with the religion and the guy can have multiple wives, and if a rich guy can have more wives, that makes more women from possibly saving them from like a poor life, and that creates more children, and those children get more money, and it's kind of just a good arrangement, I guess. But I imagine being so fucking like missing a a brain backbone to just want to be happy, being one of many concubines of a single anime generic protagonist. That must be so embarrassing. What an embarrassing
That seems
existence.
kind of polyphobic of you. I don't know. Well, I know there's like people who are polyamorous, right?
Right.
Who are all right with it if their partners have other partners.
When you think about it, real life harems are just communism. It's just spreading the wealth.
Spreading the wealth, but only for one sex. Also, is it though? Because if you have a harem, that's like you got a bunch of women concentrated in one man's quote unquote possession.
But all the children that are gonna be resulted from that, I don't think they'll just be thrown in the streets. Like, I imagine the children will be supported, and all that wealth will actually go to something instead of just hoarding it.
Maybe. I'm just saying that it's not the equal distribution of women. It feels weird. I do not agree with the
I'm also realizing I'm also realizing I'm sounding like, oh, real life harem's good, fictional harem's bad.
Yeah. I wish I could stop watching all these harem animes and just get my own harem.
Yeah. There was another branch we could have gone with the Tinder discussion.
Which is?
The whole aspect of viewing Tinder as a relationship builder is flawed because it's supposed to be just for hookups.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, can you not use it for long-term relationships then?
You can, because carnal activity inherently it can evolve into attachment and whatever.
But the main point of Tinder is
to get people talking, to get people talking, to get people touching each other and fucking. I guess that's good. It's good that it exists. I watched some videos about the way they like monetize stuff. Like, girls apparently there's like Tinder Premium, and the features are like weirdly balanced, and guys who are old and undesirable like pay a lot for Tinder Premium, but hot guys don't, and hot girls don't, and ugly girls do. I don't remember. But it was something along these lines that it's really predatory, it's really bad. But the basic functionality of it, I figure it's all right and an overall plus to society.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Overall plus. It's like, I mean, in a way, right? You'd say like, maybe by default it's hard for an app to be bad because people can just decide not to use it. But I feel like let's like simplifying it. Because like people can use something even though on a whole it negatively affects them. Like, I'm not saying
you can just do the same thing you do on Twitter, on Tinder, but on Facebook, just mass spray, like, hey, how are you? You look nice in your pictures, messages, and start talking to them that way, I guess. And if you have a cool enough profile picture yourself, you could have a chance.
Yeah.
And if you're funny,
what's the coolest profile picture that you could come up with? You have to be like a tesseract, like a 4D cube with flames on it.
This might just be my terminally online brain speaking, but I always found like ultra manly, like giant guys that just are doing the silliest shit in their pictures, like embarrassing looking stuff, but because of their confidence it works. Like, cosplaying like a fat version of a Sailor Moon character or whatever. I always found that like really like a Chad move.
What do you say, attractive guys or unattractive?
Whichever, like even a muscular, like Sailor
Hmm.
Moon, I guess.
Yeah.
Big buff Sailor Moon.
I mean, then it's like,
Because it's funny, and the funny stuff inherently
Yeah.
works, except when it doesn't, because it's not funny, because society standards change.
Ah!
Yes. Like you couldn't say the several F words in the past, and be do a lot of racial and sexual jokes in the past, but now it's racy to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't even say anymore nowadays.
I'm gonna beep that and then.
No! Fuck! It starts with an F and it ends on a T. God damn it! You fucking
The fat word.
trapped me inside of your web of words.
The way to get around that is to edit the podcast.
No, but it was only a single syllable. Viewers, go back, and just check, or believe me. When have I ever lied on this podcast? Whenever I lied to you,
non-existent viewer.
Never. They don't exist yet.
They will.
They will be born in the year of 2045. The single viewer.
Yes, and they're gonna go through our whole repertoire, and they will try to count all the N words, but they
will count all the N words, and they will count none of them. At least not from me, because
we successfully avoided saying it.
Yes.
In year of our Lord 2021. Yes. Whew. That got heated.
Heated gamer moment. But heated gamer moment without racial slurs. Without the worst thing I said was, it was bleeped out. So
acknowledging the existence of the N word.
Acknowledging that it exists.
I'm a pretty big fan of the nurture is more important than nature school of thought.
Yeah.
That American media, which I've consumed my whole life, and Japanese media, and Korean, and maybe some Chinese. Actually, Chinese media didn't ever give me like a good message, I guess. Okay, what I was going to say that all those medias kind of engendered those those values into me. But Chinese media. Back to like. Cut back on the saccharine stuff and be racist for once. I don't think they ever gave me like a good message. The only good movie that I liked from China is fucking Drunken Master.
I don't.
With the one with Jackie Chan. The one with Jackie Chan.
Oh, is that from China?
Yeah, it's a Chinese movie. Huh. Or it's a Hong Kong movie, in which case that would be, oh god, no.
But the PLAP would like to apologize to the Chinese people,
to the Hong Kong people,
to whoever. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, but yeah, the movie, it was like, it's just a funny, like, a martial artist guy is bad at martial art. He's always slacking. He's always like, I'm not gonna train for my like good standing in life. I'll fucking cheat the whole way to the top. And he like meets this drunk guy, and he's cool because he drinks, and he's better at fighting when he's drunk. And he like takes him under his wing, and then like his dad dies, I think, in like a cool fight scene. And then Jackie Chan like, I guess I'm gonna train now, and I'm gonna get drunk, and I'm gonna kill that guy, and he does.
And the moral of the story is
kill and get drunk. Good things all around.
Yeah.
Kill your enemies, get drunk, and train while getting drunk. Maybe there's some other message, I guess. Does it have anything to do with like the cultivation aspect of Chinese mythology?
Training, training is always pretty cool.
I think training is pretty cool as well. I do it whenever I can.
And of course, getting drunk, it represents, like, does he get drunk just for the fight, or does he get drunk for like...
He learns to like alcohol throughout like just casually, but when shit gets real in a fight, he gotta get that wine, bro. You know. And then he becomes a funny guy and like beats them up in funny ways, shoving sticks up people's asses and shit, and like putting their faces in dog and bullshit, and you know, other funny jokes.
So the moral is use steroids, use cocaine, but
dope
only
dope
when
on the
it's
Olympics.
necessary.
And do it casually as well.
Casually, but in moderation. Yeah.
Yes.
Microdose it.
Yes. I guess that's the only good moral we can take from the one Chinese movie that I like.
Yeah, I don't. So I was gonna say I don't really feel like I know that much Chinese content. I wasn't really aware that, or like consciously aware that Jackie Chan came or is
Chinese.
I guess. Yeah.
He is Chinese, and I think he's pretty friendly to the CCP as well, and he has like bad relations with his son. So there's a lot of reasons to not like him.
It's the Concrastinators podcast.
Yeah, but you know, he made funny action movies.
Nice. He made them?
Yeah,
So
he even directed a bunch of them. Yeah.
Wow. I thought I was under the impression that he was just an actor.
Nah, he's an all-rounder. He even had a music career. He wants to be a movie star. Is the chorus of a song. His like most notorious meme song on the internet.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now. And yeah, you can just type into YouTube Jackie Chan movie star, and you'll have his album cover and everything. And it's great. It's a funny song with a funny face on the cover. Very soulful, very vanilla.
Cool. Editor, play the entire album. Don't do that. See, now we don't have to edit anything. It's like a null edit. I planned it all along.
Yeah, we say the person who let it to do something, and then tell them to not do it, and nothing will be done.
Yeah. Everything. It reminds me of like reversible computing, where it's like, as long as there's some fucking bullshit in physics where you can get like free computation. But it's a bit over my head. I wouldn't be able to talk on it confidently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of computation, do you know how many computes will do the computer that is the Steam Deck?
The Steam Deck. What is that? I mean, I heard about it. I heard people. I've heard people talk about it. I've heard people say, a Nintendo Switch is doing like a very minor update to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, yeah. Nintendo is doing a minor update to the Switch, and then Valve is coming out with it's just dropping this, I guess. So there's like a comparison going on there.
The stars really aligned for Valve's like public persona. Are like, everybody hyping up the Switch Pro, but then they completely underwhelmed everyone, and then like Valve comes out like, yo, how about the Switch Pro?
Yeah, how about the thing?
How about the thing that everybody wants?
Fuck. It's like uploading a lecture right as somebody rapes their mother. To maximize that search engine optimization. Hypothetically, man. Of course. I'm not like,
I mean, it kind of made sense. I would have
allegedly, assumed,
I would have assumed I would have assumed that the more discourse around Christian explodes, like Ben would feel like pressured into releasing the lecture.
Ben is so fucking base. I can't believe that he would use this opportunity.
This tragedy.
Yes.
to maximize SEO optimization.
Yeah. Number go
yeah.
up.
Number go up.
So
yes.
What about Steam Deck?
It is apparently using like some crazy new RAM stuff that is like a DDR above everything that everybody's heard of, and like they're like making a computer, and it is mostly just a computer that uses like the same sort of tech that consoles have been using, and getting away with having shittier specs but optimized architecture. So like,
wow,
a computer apparently uses like several like PCIe or whatever slots or bandwidths or wires or things in the motherboard to communicate, for the parts to communicate with each other. But in consoles, apparently they don't need the graphics card to have a DDR itself, like a memory thing itself. They can just use the really high spec RAM and integrate it with the CPU and whatever.
Yeah,
and apparently
PCs have to be sort of modular most of the time, I feel like, because you can replace parts and stuff.
And you can,
for a console, it can all be interconnected. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like more, the design is inherently more streamlined, and like it's more optimized better for performance despite shittier specs technically. And it's also like $400 will get you a really shitty laptop.
Yes.
But this can play AAA games at medium specs, 30 to 60 FPS, and it's only $400 technically, even though you'd need to pay a lot more for storage. And yeah, it looks really fucking exciting. Apparently, there has been like a tech pundits, publishers are now allowed to come to Valve and like demo the thing and do stuff. And all the videos are now popping up from independent sources about, the Steam Deck, what everybody missed about the Steam Deck, and what do Steam Deck? Where's the heat? Where's the power? It's so small. Yes.
So small, puts penis next to it for reference. Look at how small it is. It's almost as small as my penis.
Okay. Someone needs to do that, I guess.
Look at my tiny baby Formosa's cock.
I think,
and then they put a ruler next to it for like reference for how small the penis is, so you can compare the ruler to the penis to the Steam Deck.
I think in like a internet comment etiquette video, like the guy watched like some racy YouTube videos. Apparently there's like a whole scene on YouTube about just being gay and pretty, and like some guy was sitting on his belly towards the camera, and he couldn't see anything like past his torso and face, right? And apparently there were two guys next to him, and they were sticking stuff in his ass. I'm assuming people can do the stuff like that, but for the Steam Deck.
Sorry, it's like converting dollars to euros / backwards for some.
What?
I should have been paying attention to your joke or your comment, because it sounded much funnier than. I'm just trying to figure out the Steam Deck. It says 420 euros, and that's like the lowest price I'm seeing.
Yeah, because fucking Europeans always get fucked on pricing.
Damn.
No matter what.
Wow.
I guess Eastern Europeans kind of sometimes get better regional pricing for video games, but we're already so much poorer that it's kind of just equivalent. I don't know.
It's just, what's the problem? Could you just like ship it internationally? I guess international shipping might cost stuff.
I would have actually reserved one of these, because I do have $400 now that I have a kind of okay job, but it's not available in Moldova. I was kind of thinking of asking you to reserve one for me and like wiring the money through PayPal to you. But I'm assuming that's a bit overstepping boundaries, and I kind of don't want it.
Okay, I would consider it. We could do like, I mean, if we need to move money around, we could do like a I don't know, how do you do that? You have to like build up trust by doing progressively larger
transactions.
Yeah. I think that's doable.
I don't know, man. As I said, I'm not that interested anymore. If it's not gonna come to Moldova at any point, like in the next several years, maybe I'm gonna look into someone to ship it to me.
Right. What they should do is build the shipping into the console. So they just put like tiny wheels on the console
and a
GPS track. Yeah, and like a part that inflates so it can go over water as well. And just have it dry. Just have it come over to you.
Yeah.
You just specify your GPS coordinates when you buy it, and then a couple years later, it arrives on your doorstep.
Yeah. Why hasn't anyone think about this?
Why has nobody ever thought of a fucking a portable console that consumes sunlight for energy? Right? It needs something to power its battery for. Yeah. Maybe it would like have a sort of a mechanical stomach for processing food. It hunts. It hunts smaller consoles. If your console gets eaten by another console, you get a refund.
Okay.
I just think, people need to start thinking out of the box.
They do.
Be sustainable, engage with nature, effectively have our technology become nature.
Yeah, just like my wallpaper. It's nature, but glitchy, It's a synergy. Synthesis.
But now we have to put the wallpaper on the podcast. We have to show it on screen.
Okay.
Quick, describe it verbally.
It is
green.
You already did. It's a very pleasant green, and it's like nature but glitchy.
Nature but glitchy, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between and outside of it.
Well, I guess it's not that big of a visual bit. I'll post it in voice text. All right.
Yeah.
Enjoy that, everyone. Maybe I'll post a link to it so everybody can download it. Anyways. DM me on Discord for that.
for the deets.
Yes.
Should we have some kind of contact? I mean, I guess you could just fucking DM or send
we don't
comment.
We don't have any YouTube comments, so it'll be really easy if someone just comments it.
Yeah, but then how do we send it to them? Because there's no DMs on YouTube.
There used to be.
There used to be
like an emailing system, but I guess they scrapped it in the past 10 years.
Yeah. So if you really want that thing, and we were too lazy to put it in the description, just hit us up. Just send us a comment, and we can get in touch. We're gonna exchange emails or something. Make a burner email. Send us just buy a burner phone and send us the number.
Yes.
Speaking of burner phones, how does the Steam Deck not burn? How does it ventilate? Who knows? How much do we know about the Steam Deck?
I think it has some sort of internal fans or cooling system, but it's mostly just about the architecture being really, really efficient, apparently. It's like a new generation of APU. Everybody's calling it the RDNA 2, and I don't know
what does APU stand for.
It's a CPU and a GPU, but in one.
It goes ape. That's why the A stands for ape.
It's okay. So
processing unit.
Computing processing unit, graphics call processing unit. So an all processing unit, I guess. All powerful processing
accelerated processing unit. It says. Formerly known as Fusion, is the marketing term for a series of.
God, I'm so glad it got overran from the Fusion days, and now it's called the APU, because APU just sounds good.
Apparently, AMD stands for Advanced Micro Devices.
Huh. What does the N in NVIDIA stand for?
Oh no! Please don't let it be what NVIDIA. Let's see. NVIDIA initially had no name, and the co-founders all named all their files NV as in next version. And these to incorporate the company prompted co-founders to review all words with those two letters, leading them to NVIDIA, which starts with an E, with an I, the Latin word for envy. And they just dropped the I at the start.
And now
NVIDIA.
It's like Extreme or Xmas. Yeah. Whatever.
The Xmas, the X stands for like an entire word.
Yeah, it stands for Christ, I guess.
Yeah. I guess it's like the Chi from Greek.
Oh man, in Japan, Xmas would be like Crossmas.
Crossmas. And then obviously that's where Santa Claus comes from.
Klausmas.
Klausmas. That's like a secular holiday.
Yeah.
Like you try to remove the religious part of it. You're like, oh, it's Klausmas.
I mean,
Santamas.
Everybody's saying Happy Holidays these days instead of Merry Christmas.
That's true.
Oh man, winter and Christmas is weird. Because we have like 3 Christmases here in Moldova. We have like the 25th, which we never really used to or ever like celebrate. We have
25th is like the usual Christmas in the US.
Yeah. In most of the world, I guess 25th. And obviously not in China. We also have we have a different Christmas after the New Year.
After the New Year, wow.
Which is called Christmas on old side, I guess. And then we have the real Christmas, which is when me and my brother and most of my colleagues that I ever spoke to, most of the friends I ever spoke to, like we used to get presents on the New Year's instead of everything else.
On the New Year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the other 2 Christmases were kind of just fluff to us. So it was just a free holiday. The real holiday was just a New Year.
Downloadable Christmas.
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
DLC.
Yeah. In the Netherlands, we have something similar where, in addition to the 25th of December, there's also a holiday on the 5th of December involving a character called Sinterklaas, which sure sounds a lot like Santa Claus, but it's not the same person. Sinterklaas is somebody different from the Kerstman, which means Christmas man. The Christmas man comes on Christmas, and then there's Sinterklaas, which is just a different dude who also has a long beard, but he has like a what's it called? He has like a hat with a cross on it, because I guess he's a saint or something. Saint Claus or something. It's like Sinterklaas translates to Saint Claus, I guess.
I guess it's deifying the Christmas man as a saint, which makes sense. In Moldova, I said 3. We actually have 4 or 5.
Oh my god!
Because we also have Saint Vasile and Saint Nikolai, Saint Nick, and Saint Vasily, which are kind. Yeah. Saint Nicholas might be on the 25th of December, so that's why I'm saying 4 or 5. But if it's not, then we have 5 Christmases technically, because those are the 5 kind of days, which like these days is being. I mean, it varies. Now they're kind of all being celebrated, and also in some of them or more of them, the kids go out trick-or-treating, which we don't do on Halloween. We do on Christmas.
And Nicholas is the long form of Klaus.
Wow.
I think.
Santa Nicolaus. Okay.
At least in Danish, according to the Wiktionary.
Huh. Way to
derived
talk
from
about
Nicolaus.
fucking winter in the middle of summer.
So there's a lot of stuff that's just all derived from the same thing, it seems like. Like Sinterklaas probably just comes from Klaus, which comes from Nicolaus.
Well, it's a weird tradition with a lot of retconned fucking origin points.
It's like bootleg Mario Brothers. You've got the true Santa and then all of his brothers, like Klaus and Klaas.
I thought Wario was like an internet creation. I didn't think it was like an official Nintendo thing.
What finally convinced you otherwise?
Because apparently there are on Reddit, everybody loves the WarioWare games. And everybody's like wants more WarioWare, please, no sequel in like 10 years. And I bought a 2DS at some point and I played like a DSi WarioWare game at university. And it was pretty funny. Like it's like these short little mini games you do in like a string, and depending on how well you do, you either succeed or fail, or you like get a score and like compete with your friends.
I did feel like WarioWare, though, does seem like a bootleg thing, kind of. Because it's not a platformer.
It's a software, but it's WarioWare.
And Wario is definitely not soft.
Yeah.
He's hard, is what I'm saying. He's a rat. Well, he's bobbing. Ready to go.
Anytime. Anyways.
Anytime! You know I always got that Viagra on me. He says.
Well, I guess that was all I had to talk about the Steam Deck. It's a cool little device. It may be really bad with battery life or build quality or something, so I'm not willing to invest as of yet. Next item
I
on
would
the
like
agenda.
to say, so 420 euros is what it would be for me to buy it at the minimum.
So that's that's like at least $40 more than Americans pay.
And then what I currently use, my current PC, I paid 700 euros for that.
Huh.
So
you got a bargain.
I got a pretty good one for fair price. I don't know if
kind of unfair in your favor, to be honest. Because
who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe
actually, what are your specs?
Let me run DXDiag because I always forget.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you have 16 gigs of RAM. You got a pretty good
32
CPU.
32 gigs of RAM.
Wow, that's insane. That's like 4 times what I use. I use 8.
I have an AMD Ryzen 5 2600 6-core processor.
That's decent.
DXDiag, that's 12 CPUs at 3.4 gigahertz.
Yeah, 6 cores, 12 threads, which means 12 CPUs. Yeah, I guess. In the task manager.
And then in terms of graphics card, I've got a Radeon RX 580.
Okay, I don't know the denomination of those.
Yeah, and I'm sure the viewers are also not giant hardware heads. Now I'm thinking about WarioWare again. Because you've got hardware, software, and WarioWare. So apparently Wario is neither soft nor hard. He's like halfway there.
Oh, apparently it's really good. It can play like stuff in 1440p.
Damn. Unfortunately, it can't make my screen any bigger. I have a pretty big monitor, but it's still 1080p.
GPU memory is I think 8 gigabytes of GDDR5. Yeah, that's really good. That's way better than mine.
Oh, yeah, the VRAM is 8 gigs. And then the total memory is 24 gigs, and I guess that adds up to 32 gigs. And the shared memory, whatever. Dude, numbers. I may be edging in on my bachelor's degree for mathematics, but numbers, man.
Yeah, numbers.
What?
They be weird. I got a i5 or i7 4770, 8 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1060 that's hanging, whose fan is hanging by one screw.
Well, screw. That's like solid metal.
Yeah. And it's good. It plays most of everything. 8 gigs of RAM is, funnily enough, still kind of enough, except for like really heavy stuff.
Yeah. So, listener, all you need is money, and then you can get cool stuff.
Just get money and buy video games instead of buying PC parts. Actually, no, I don't endorse that. and it's not what I'm gonna do, because I'm planning to buy a gaming PC, a gaming laptop, actually.
Yeah, and also, don't spend your money on software. Just get, like, if you want to draw, just use Krita. If you, etc. Just look up, go to just look up Alternative 2. It's a website where you can see all kinds of alternatives to software, and you type in a software that you would have to pay for, and then it gives you alternatives, and you can click on, like, I want only free ones, please. I only want free ones on Windows that are open source, and maybe you'll get something good. Maybe you have to widen your search a little bit.
Yes, and if you're a student, get into learning Linux, because it's probably going to be the future with the way Windows is going. And the way
Windows,
the Valve are pushing
out of the window. It's time for a new topic.
Yeah, the gaming laptop.
The gaming laptop. That's a fitting topic.
Yes.
Since we were just talking about specs.
Yes, and that's why I transitioned into it.
It flows so naturally.
Yeah, maybe non-linearly, but naturally.
Yes. Well, they can't see the secret document where we have all of the topics and the question marks and stuff.
Yes.
Viewer, close your eyes.
Yes, imagine.
It will be over soon.
Man.
Listener, I should say. There's not much viewing going on here. What are you? So you're thinking of getting a gaming laptop?
Yeah, the thought sprung up on me from thinking that we might have to get back to working from the office, and I kind of like the office, but I also don't want to abandon the extreme amount of like comfort and advantages of just working from home. So I would like to get a laptop to work, but I'm assuming they won't approve to provide me a laptop. So I'm buying one, and to possibly get it approved by them and to install their proprietary version of Windows and have them make me be able to work on that computer.
Yeah, I guess you should ask beforehand if that's something they would want to do, or they would want to give you permission to do, rather.
Unfortunately, I don't know where or when or how to get an answer on that.
Because you're not working there. You're not working on location yet.
I guess I could just go to the office and hope the tech guy is there, because we don't have these contacts. What a nightmare. But I also it would also be really nice to have a laptop that is free because I switch between PCs when I work and do other stuff. And I can't have both at the same time, or I can, but I have to change to set the monitor to have different things, and I can't have internet on both things, so it would just be advantageous. And I found soon after that laptops are really cost inefficient for what they bring to the table. Apparently there's a lot of bad deals because the specs provided and the price given are very unbalanced across the board. I
for university I bought a really cheap laptop because I had to have one, and it was pretty damn slow.
Oh man, I hate using slow laptops.
It kind of barely works.
I inherited a laptop from my mom, and God bless it, it let me play all the SNES games I wanted. Wow. But it also died if I watched a video on YouTube on 720p. It actually just turned off. And then the battery died at some point, so it can't be moved around, and it's really slow. It's on like 5800 speed HDD, and it's basically just a piece of shit. So I kind of scalped it for parts, and I'm using its HDD for my PS3 now, and I want to get a good laptop, and I don't want to get a bad one again.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking of getting a gaming one. If I'm gonna go in for a penny, in for a pound, I guess, because I kind of want this thing to not be garbage for the 10 years or so that I'm gonna use it probably for.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be probably the most expensive purchase in my life for up until now, because I haven't bought a car or an apartment. But because at 24K lei, that's about $1.3K or around 1.1 or 1.2 euro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Is it a lot of money on your side of the things? Your side of Europe?
Well, I mean, my 700 euro thing that I bought was also a pretty large choice. I had to be pretty certain I was making the right choice there. I spend about 5 euros a day on groceries.
Wow.
On food.
That's not a lot at all.
Yeah, I noticed back when my dad was still doing groceries for me, we would spend about 10 euros per day. And so I made the bargain. I said, I'll do my own groceries in exchange for that same amount of money. And then I just optimized the spendings. I just didn't buy expensive fucking food. I don't think I'm malnourished. The thing that's more dangerous is, I think, the fact that I've become vegetarian, probably.
Right. Okay, so you're saving quite a lot on cheese and meat, because those are the big spenders, the big thing.
I did buy some cheese today, or not today, but recently.
Is it vegetarian cheese?
Yeah. It doesn't. So the vegetarian problem with cheese is the chymosin in there. That's used to coagulate. That's used to form the chunks that makes it cheesy. That curds that curdles the milk into cheese. It's a chemical found in calves' stomachs, and it's a byproduct of the slaughter of calves. So kind of like killing a calf for that. So I try to make sure to avoid cheese that has chymosin of that origin. But you can also get chymosin from bacteria, to produce microbial rennet, and that works fine, because microbes, fuck them, right?
Cringe.
Who cares?
Yes.
At a certain point, I can't say oh well, what if they experience? I eat plants, and plants are still organisms, and they react to things, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know 100% certain that I'm not harming them in some sense, in a sense that's relevant. But for animals, it's much more likely to me that there's some actual harm going on there.
I mean, okay, you're not really in charge of killing all the things. I guess you're trying to cut the demand on your part.
Yeah.
For the product.
So my reasoning goes that by buying meat, I would be financially incentivizing the killing of animals, and that's
cringe.
Sort of just as bad as killing an animal yourself. Because the end result is still one more animal gets slaughtered in expectation.
Yeah, but we used to hunt in packs, and we're gonna cut an animal, and the whole village will eat good tonight. But now
Hell
we just instead of just destroying the order of the animals and like cutting them out of their environment, we just grow specialized things that we're going to cut and eat. Isn't that just optimal? Isn't that just mathematically perfect?
Maybe. I mean, there are a bunch of different minerals and stuff, or a bunch of different micronutrients, I guess you would say, that are important to get. So, not eating meat, I am probably building up a deficit of B12 and iron. I guess I have to figure out
how to make up with tofu.
How to fix that? Yeah.
Have you? I never seen tofu. I don't know what it smells or looks like. Or
I've been awfully lazy in my research on how to make up for that. I feel all right, or I'd say I don't really feel any different, I guess.
Well, that's the problem with feelings, because we humans are pretty resilient, and we can just get used to chronic pain and stuff. So when the doctor asks you, "Oh, what's going on? What's up? What's popping in your brain, in your body?" and you're like, "I don't know."
How would you compare current state to the state that you consider to be average for humans? And you're like, oh, okay, let me just pick up my reference for what is average. Oh, that's me. I do think people's mental models of other people do, they start off with just saying, okay, well, what would I do? And then you have to like adjust that for all of the specific knowledge that you have about other people. Me being kind of autistic, I feel like I rely more on the latter sort of knowledge-based approach instead of. I mean, I still have empathy, of course, but.
Well, you sound like a pretty normal person to me. I would not have assumed you are on the spectrum.
Well, I've been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, so ADHD-PI, I guess is the technical name for that at the moment. But then it was suggested to me that by somebody who deals with autism a lot, that it could be like very high functioning autism. And of course, everybody loves hearing that they're high functioning. I mean, damn. Yeah. That's like, so actually
that's better than low functioning. Or medium functioning.
That's why I only listen to hi-fi remixes or mixtapes on YouTube.
Yeah,
fuck that lo-fi music.
Yeah, that's why you listen to hi-fi hip-hop.
Yeah, hi-fi hip-hop beats to fucking stress to and gets tinnitus with. Tinnitus simulator hi-fi.
You do joke, but there is a video on YouTube. I think it's from Dorkly, like heavy metal to stress out.
Yeah, I was thinking of that when I said that.
I'm gonna post a link in the thing.
Post a link. Everybody can watch the funny video, but then come back to the podcast
for 10 hours.
Yeah, listen to the video for 10 hours and then come back to the podcast.
All stressed out and unslept.
Still haven't slept yet. Jesus Christ.
That's
You're
the intended
still
experience.
Awake? You listen to the whole thing? God, get some sleep. I'm sorry I asked you to do that. I didn't think you would actually do it, listener. Listener sounds kind of like something that a Dark Souls character would say. Listener.
Yes, the dread listener.
The pod listener. Listener of the pods. I have an important message for you. You must go to the fucking evil guy and kill him badly.
You bearer seek my ass.
seek my booty hole clapping for you.
Speaking of sleep, I have reset my sleep schedule yesterday. Do you know what resetting sleep schedule implies in my head?
What? No, I cannot look that deeply at the moment. What does it imply?
It implies not sleeping or barely sleeping the night before and then getting tired at the 12-hour mark at the next day and sleeping like a normal person.
And then you wake up at like a normal time again?
Yeah. I'll possibly wake up at the normal time tomorrow.
Cool,
Who knows?
Cool. Yeah, no, I do that as well. Recently, a couple days ago, I stayed awake for like pretty long, but then I had like other stuff happen during the day, and then eventually, I stayed awake all the way like past midnight. And what happened after that is, so I was like, okay, well now I've slept at pretty late, right? I should wake up at a sort of normal time. I slept for 17 hours. So I was just back in the old fucking rhythm.
Yeah, man, fucking summer when you're at school and like the summers are 3 days off. It's the most like dysfunctional sleep that I've ever had. Like, 'cause I just, yeah, as you said, 17-hour sleeps. That's the worst. You wake up so tired.
I woke up because I felt dehydrated. I was like, okay, I kind of want to continue sleeping, but
I'll die if I don't get up.
It's also weird because people say like, oh, you shouldn't pull like an all-nighter because you can't really catch up with the sleep. Then why is my body trying to catch up anyway? Why is it pulling a 17-hour sleep on my ass?
Well,
I don't have that too often, though I do often sleep like pretty long. I have like a tendency to sleep for 12 hours. Though in the summer, my dad gave me his fan to stay cool. It's like a fan with like a water basin in it, so it sort of blows like slightly moist air at you.
Water. Yeah, nice.
And it cools, or it feels cool, even though technically, thermodynamically speaking, it is performing work and therefore heating up the room as a whole. As long as you have like the window open, it's fine. Yeah, because he got a new fan for himself, so. Yeah, I was allowed to acquire the old one.
Well,
when I point that fan at myself when I'm sleeping, I sleep shorter, and I think that's kind of based. Also, I'm not sure if it's good.
I mean,
maybe I should be sleeping longer. But then,
unless you're stuck in a rut of feeling constantly like you're sick or like you have a cold, then you're all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also when I sleep, I just get warm.
Yes,
I think when I slept for those 17 hours, I had my fan on, but it was pointed up, so it didn't really reach me. So I guess that's why I got extra dehydrated, maybe, and why I slept extra long.
Because the moisture of your sweat filled the room, and then the fan proliferated that, and with the thermodynamic rule that you just mentioned, like, just the worst of all worlds. I guess.
Sure. In your fantasy world and in your own little model of reality, perhaps, but at the window open, so it should have just equilibrated.
Damn it! I'm not all-knowing. No, no. Anyways.
Because you can't just make a room warmer and warmer if the window is open, as long as it's cooler outside, sort of. But the fact that it was pointing up does mean that it wasn't locally cooling me, so it was making the room slightly warmer than outside, I guess, is what I
mean, circulating the air is also a good bit of thing to happen around you and in you.
Yeah, circulating the air, and then because you sweat, and the physics makes the sweat go swoosh, and it takes away some of the thermal energy on your body.
Yes. Well, the reason I reset my sleep schedule is because I stayed up. I was like watching. I found out that on 4chan you can find like really cool webms. and like ooh, there's like this one with classical paintings or whatever that like have like this pretty like soulful sounding song that like sounds like ooh, it means something. And I was like,
paintings, you said?
Hmm?
Paintings, you said?
Yeah, classical paintings, but they are like rigged in such a way that they're moving in line with the beat, and it's like very cool looking. I think I uploaded it because as a byproduct of what happened next, I tried to download it because like, oh, these are cool, and 4chan deletes stuff after a while. I'm gonna download it.
Yeah.
And turns out I downloaded the thing, and then I was like, oh, I want to put it in a folder, and I want to rename it to the name of the thing because it was just a bunch of numbers. And the Windows Explorer just hang for minutes at a time while trying to like finalize the renaming process or removing or deleting process. And it was like the most infuriating experience I've had in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just Webms. It was just Webms doing that.
Interesting. I've had that with Opus files for audio. I download like YouTube videos occasionally if I want to use noise or something. Use a funny public domain audio, of course.
Yes.
And then and then the Opus file, I try to because my intuition originally was, oh, if I rename it to an OGG, maybe that's like the same container, and so
it can change the format.
It turns out you can just change it to an MP3 or whatever, just anything, and Windows will just convert the file.
Yeah, so like PNGs and JPEGs can do that. Yeah.
What? I mean, damn.
You didn't know?
I guess I just didn't generalize enough because I learned this about audio and I just assumed, okay, funny situation with audio. But surely it doesn't apply to anything else. Nope. I'm guessing you're telling me it applies to fucking audio, video, images, etc.
Probably videos as well. I'm not sure about video actually, but the images it does. It's not smart enough to like make like stuff that looks like that should be invisible, like transparent. It doesn't like make it transparent by transforming into a PNG, but you can just change it and then like I guess edit it in Paint and save it, and I think it's gonna have a transparent background. I'm not sure.
So animation is basically superfluous now because you can just draw an image and then convert it to a video.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact,
you can just
describe the image in a text file and then convert the text file to a fucking image.
Yeah,
and then the image to a video.
You can change images to .gifs, and that's gonna make it a GIF.
Yeah, and then you convert the GIF file to an audio file, and you finally learn what GIF sounds like, what the correct pronunciation is.
Well, I vote for GIF in my experience, even though it doesn't make sense in my language to pronounce GIF as GIF. I like it more.
Well, that's very diplomatic of you. That's very well. You just like it more.
It's very contrarian.
It's very egotistical of you. But I agree. I also like a GIF as a pronunciation. Get in the comments, guys. Discuss.
Call to action. XX.
Is it GIF or is it GIF? And what should we do with the people who are wrong? Should we hang them?
Should we kill them?
I'm not taking any, and I'm not taking any sides, guys. We here at the PLAP podcast we are firmly dedicated to having no opinions whatsoever. At least I am.
Yes.
So only like half.
I have no opinion on that statement. I have no opinion on that statement.
Cool.
God damn it! If only I was faster. My brain was faster. I would have made that joke, and it would have made sense.
No, we can edit it. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Too much effort.
Too much effort.
Damn, how long have we been recording?
A while.
Pretty long. Damn.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten through all the secret topics.
Yeah, I was gonna say about what I did to fix the webm issue.
Yes.
Turns out well, it doesn't turn out. I have been struggling while editing the PLAP to I would just go to folders that have a lot of thumbnails in them, and the thumbnails would load normally, but then the little address bar would start like turning like slowly green, like something would be loading, and it would just load like really slowly and forever, and it was just like kind of preloading thumbnails for the next time or something, and it was just slowing down my PC and my like workflow like significantly. But I was like, okay, I guess I can live with this. It's a funny quirk of my system. But with the webm, like stuff got too far. Like for some reason, while doing that, like several other files didn't want to be moved or deleted. And I'm like, oh no, are my drives dying? And I checked the things. I have a bat file that checks the status of my drives, and turned out they were okay. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to reinstall Windows, and that always sucks to do. As it used to be a lot easier when I was like, so PCs in my mind were always like, see, the C drive exists, but you never put anything there. But the D drive, that's where you put all your stuff. And you can just format the C drive, and Windows is reinstalled, and that's it. But
that does sound kind of nice.
But this time around, I'm now using an SSD. A bunch of my stuff is on an SSD. I had to archive a bunch of stuff into 7Z files. I moved them to my D drive, and then I had to like scrub to make sure everything is good and taken care of. I made a proper, very good. I'm very proud of a sorting system of where to put files when after the reinstall, and I don't think there has ever been a better Windows reinstallation procedure made by anyone ever. I dreaded it very much, but it was a big success. It also completely killed my ability to sleep that night, so I slept for 2 hours, and then I stayed awake for the rest of Saturday. Based.
Nice.
Yes.
Based.
I feel very based because my PC is now clean, and I found this cool wallpaper that I shared with you all.
Did it fix the webm issue?
Yes, it did, and my drives are not dying, and everything is working fine, but I have to reinstall everything. Ugh.
I do wonder what that was all about, though. Like,
it is very curious, yeah.
Like, what on earth?
I'm assuming it was a virus. I'm assuming it's a virus. I did a bunch of like antivirus scans over the course of that night, and that's why it took so long to reinstall the Windows. And I did find a bunch of stuff, but I feel like they were not particularly harmful files. It was probably something else that was like burrowed deep in my system 32.
Bokunopico.exe.
Pico?
Boku Pico.
Ah, right. Yes, my 6 terabytes of just copies of the 3 episodes of Boku no Pico.
You trained an AI to like generate more episodes. Infinite Pico.
I mean, I would be curious what an AI could do with like a million hours of video, regardless if it's Boku no Pico or not.
It would come up with something, right? It would probably be locally consistent. I did hear something about because the problem with AI Dungeon, right? The whole thing where you enter text and then a computer finishes it. The problem with AI Dungeon is, and other systems like that, is their memory is too short, so they can only base their deductions on
makes
the
sense,
last 1,000 letters, the last 1,000 characters, which means
that's why. Actually, no. When I tried the AI Dungeon, like it would like break consistency, like the very next thing.
Yeah, that's like another problem, which I guess is like it just doesn't understand.
It's
But
not a human brain. Yes.
Yeah. But the 1,000 character limit is like, it's an even stronger limit there because it just doesn't even have an opportunity to use information that far in the past. Right. And that's a problem because in a story, you know,
you gotta do callbacks. You gotta build context.
Yeah. In order to predict the next word, you don't just need the last 1,000 characters. You need an internal model of what the world is like in that story.
God, can you imagine writing something but forgetting everything as you write it?
Man. There's probably people like that with like shitty memory.
I mean, Stephen King doesn't remember writing a bunch of his books, but that's because he just writes so many books.
Yeah. No, I know there's people who have like no memory. Like every 5 minutes they forget or something, and they can still do stuff like play the piano, as long as they've trained that well enough.
Yeah, I mean, we learned that in biology class. Like, there's like short-term memory, mid-term memory, and long-term memory. Long-term memory is just stuff that sticks with you for life. Short-term memory is like, what are we doing right now? Oh, we're talking about the topic of AI dungeon.
Damn, I wish I had some of that.
And mid-term memory is, we are recording the PLAP and have been doing so for the past 3-4 months.
Yeah. And then long-term memory is like, monkey is like a furry boy.
Yes.
Monkey is a type of animal. Keyboards are used to type stuff. If I put my hands above the keyboard and I will them to say things, then they become the words on the screen.
Yes.
Walking. I can walk. I don't necessarily think there's like much of an abstract, right? Like the abstract idea of like, oh, I am able to walk. I don't feel like that's super necessarily an idea that people have. That, but that's also something that's like obvious. But like, is it something you don't really have to remember that? That's just like.
I don't know if walking is a long-term memory thing. I think that's just evolutionary like instincts.
Well, babies can't do it, so
but when they
somehow.
Yeah, but I don't think if nobody taught a baby to walk, I think it would start walking on 2 feet eventually because it's more efficient.
Okay, Google can. Sorry, if I like activated somebody's Google thing. Like you're listening to the podcast, sort of like, okay, Google, do bad thing. Can feral children walk? I wonder. They may be unable to learn how to use a toilet, have trouble learning to walk upright after walking on 4s all their lives, or display a complete lack of interest in the human activity around them, says Wikipedia.
Well, and Wikipedia is basing that on whose writing, on whose source?
Based on what?
Yes.
Let's see. Walk upright. They put a reference number 1. Mind-blowing cases of children raised by animals. ZMC Science. Well, it's an article on a website called ZME Science. Source? All right, now I'm going to Control F and look for the word walk on this page.
All right.
Walk like a monkey. It took him 2 weeks before he began to walk on 2 legs. And I don't really see any sources here. So basically what I said, it was just made up. Walking doesn't even exist.
Yes.
People invented walking as just like a conspiracy because people are like, well, we can't use cars anymore because that's bad for climate change. So we gotta use other forms of transportation. And guys, just walk. Literally, what? What do you mean, just walk?
I mean, I have been a pretty big fan of walking.
Yeah. I took a walk all the way to my grandpa's place, and then he wasn't home. He was at the bank with my mom.
Sorry, I muted myself there. Yeah, I'm a big fan of walking. During university, the city of where I'm living kind of opened up to me. I was like, I had to move. All of the like public transport didn't properly go where I needed it to go, or if it did, it was, it's 2 more days. I gotta save the money. I gotta walk on my own 2 feet. You see, and that's healthy. That's a generally just good idea. Just if you have the chance, if you live in a city and everything is just near you, just fucking walk to it, man.
Yeah.
Americans, I believe they just take, since their cars are so ubiquitous, they just always take the car wherever and whenever, and that's why they're fat.
Yeah. They should
Facts.
just make the United States smaller, and that
Yes.
way people would be closer together and they would walk more.
Yes.
Because you don't need to make the United States smaller. You just have to put fucking stores closer to
Each other.
Yeah, okay, the stores closer to. Well, actually, spread the stores out so that on average, the closest store is closer to you. I heard something about this, like the districting. They have like a district for buying stuff and then a district for living. And
Yeah,
they're
commercial.
far apart.
If you play City Skylines or SimCity or whatever, like the way that you can delimitate like stuff around roads is like, ooh, this is the commercial district. This is the living. What's the
Meanwhile,
the industrial district?
Hmm?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the industrial
sure.
district. Yeah, whatever.
Meanwhile, I was looking on Google Maps today with a friend. I was showing him the Netherlands, and there was like, we found an apartment complex, and in the first floor of the apartment complex are stores.
Oh man.
So that's kind of based. It was a huge apartment complex. The numbers for the fucking apartments. It was like, here's the entrance for fucking 4,200 to 4,900.
Man, it's gotta suck to live there. Like, we have a lot of like stores just built in at the first few floors of an apartment complex, and I just assume that it's just like the one where I used to work at. Like it was really poor district, and if you looked just above the company's like floor, everything above was like just uninsulated balconies and like broken windows. It was just the worst, poorest district that I've ever seen. And I guess that's not the case everywhere in the city, but that's where all the companies buy because it's cheap. Because cheap real estate, because low quality, everybody poor. Yes. Anyways,
I didn't feel too like the buildings didn't seem too shabby. I can't really see income with my eyes. I don't have income vision, though. I did. I mean, gonna pull a PCP here and say that my Bitcoin did go up. Number go up.
Whoa. You invested in the Bitcoin?
The Bitcoin, yeah. Well, I'm still down like 120 on my initial investment, but it was lower. So I'm happy about these recent developments, and I hope it just.
Did you specifically buy Bitcoin?
Up. Yes.
Why not Ethereum or Bitcoin Classic or whatever fucking variant of Bitcoin exists?
I do want to buy Ethereum at some point. I guess I'm sort of like arbitrarily waiting for Ethereum 2.0 to come out.
Didn't they? I like it's already almost the end of the summer. Didn't they like do the whole thing where they made it like it doesn't have impact on the environment? It's not terrible, and like the prices on GPUs should go down because nobody has to mine anymore on the most important coin, I guess.
For Ethereum or what?
Yeah, Ethereum is supposedly becoming stake based instead of proof of work based or something.
Yeah, proof of stake. So it's an entire. So the proof of work, the role that plays is a con. It's it's a mechanism that makes it hard to fake things. So you have the blockchain, which is a public record, and the blockchain can't really be faked because it takes a lot of effort to generate that blockchain. And as long as you don't have over 50% of the resources, then you can't generate fake blockchain as quickly as the rest of the network is generating legitimate blockchain.
Okay.
Yeah, blockchain is just a public record where it's a chain because everything like depends on the previous one, and that makes it hard to fake. It makes it hard to insert a fake transaction a couple points back because then you have to update the entire chain.
But what about the criminals, the terrorists using Bitcoin to buy weapons?
Yeah. What about them?
What about?
What about? Hey, come on, let people live. Let people. Come on.
Don't terrorize me. Don't terrorize me, bitch.
Don't. Yeah.
Anyway.
DM, you know. I would just like to say that I do not endorse terrorism, and I do not endorse bad things.
I think that's very controversial of you to say.
I just think, yeah.
So I guess I never really explained the pricing on the gaming laptop because I said 24K and I said $1.3K.
24 carats laptop. What the fuck? 24 karat gold.
Damn.
Yes.
I was looking at a ROG Strix G15, which usually comes with either 1660s or 1650s GPUs, but also they come with the 30 series. So they have the RTX 30, 50, and 60.
ROG Strix?
Yes, ROG Strix.
X.
And it looks very gamery. It kind of like, I was like dreading the fact that, this is technically the highest value thing I can get for the money. And thankfully I don't have to fucking buy it because there is another line of high value gaming laptops called.
Apparently it did get the gold award, so maybe it really is 24 carats.
I mean, is gold measured in carats?
It is. That's why they say that you put a carrot on a stick, because money. That's all. Society is based on money, and it's just a carrot on a stick. And just one carrot. Us poor people only get one carrot. The rich people get 24 carrots on a stick.
Yes. Society.
Society. We live in it.
Yes. And the laptop, the Lenovo Legion series is apparently high value, high quality, and not unreasonably priced. And it's got a 3060 instead of a 3050, which I was like not finding in my area. And I think I'm gonna get that, and it's gonna be a way bigger upgrade than I planned. Because I kind of just wanted a functioning laptop. But to get a functioning laptop that'll last me 10 years, I guess I gotta get this. Damn it. I hate spending money.
Yes. They should just make laptops soft and then make it free and open source. I just want to install a program on my computer and then it's a laptop.
I joked with my brother back in the day when we were playing Space Pinball on our Windows XP. Like, yo, look at those numbers and the score, bro, like 1,000,000. What if this tray, which I later found out is the diskette, the floppy disk slot. Like, what if it just prints out the money, bro? What if?
Yeah, what if your disk had to like keep track of every point individually as a separate location in memory? I guess.
Yes.
You get so many points, your computer fucking explodes because the number is too big.
Yeah.
Or it starts growing because it's trying to generate more bits. Some kind of fucking eldritch being. I can see you selecting the text over and over again in the Google Doc, and it's mildly distracting.
Sorry.
Something that's also distracting maybe was that you started mentioning the specific components, and I don't know the components, so it was like numbers and...
Yeah, okay, so you have an RX something, I have GTX something. GTX things are generally good, but not future-proof. But RTX stuff, that specifically in the 3000s, is high value and high quality, and they will have also they also have like performance modes to preserve battery. They also have the DLSS things to like preserve performance. So if I get a good one, I guess it's gonna last me 10 years because of all these technological advancings, I guess. I don't know. That's my hope, unless like some big tech appears in like 5 years and makes my thing obsolete. Yeah.
Would you say the RTX is higher quality than 24 carats? Would you say it's 25 carats, perhaps?
Yes.
This is a joke, by the way, because carats are measured per 24 parts, so 24 is the maximum. You can't have 25 parts gold per 24 parts. I googled that just to make sure that my joke worked.
Good. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. In my research, I found this channel called Jarrod's Tech. JARROD's apostrophe SD Tech. Like he's like crazy autistic about his details, man. He's like compares everything to everything else. He replaces memory. He like makes all these little things and has swift editing. Not a lot of wasted time. Very very high quality stuff. Made the whole process a lot less painful. And yeah.
What process specifically?
The process of looking for a good laptop. Yeah, because it's a process, all right. That's basically what I did for the entirety of last week. Like, I looked for and researched what makes a laptop good. What do I need? What high value? What bad value? What I guess more core, more good? Yes, Ryzen. Yes, Ryzen. And also, what was the other thing? Yeah, non-upgradable. So memory you can upgrade. Everything else, not really. Memory and RAM are the only two things you can change in your laptop, and maybe battery. Yeah. So gotta keep those in mind. Don't get too dissuaded by the shitty SSD sizes.
I assume with the Valve, was it?
Deck.
The Steam Deck, right? You probably couldn't upgrade that too much because it's all.
Yeah,
right.
you can't change anything about
console,
it.
Not a PC.
You can change all the software on it. You can make it a Windows computer, but
you can install Windows and it becomes a desktop computer.
You can, you know how like fancy phones you can just plug them into a monitor with the Type-C cable and they just become a desktop. That's basically how the Steam Deck would be able to work as well.
Yeah. So you're not just getting a console, maybe.
Yeah. You're also getting a tablet. You're also getting a PC, a thing that you can use as a desktop PC.
Based.
It's very based. It's
but does it have
very cool
calculator like the Switch has? Didn't think so.
I mean, unless the SteamOS deleted it, I think Linux had like an internal calculator.
They deleted the calculator because
it took too much memory.
Yeah, they couldn't have numbers.
It was just too many numbers.
Yeah.
Anyway, laptops. Even though the 3060, the RTX 3060 is not as strong as the desktop version, the laptop version, is still gonna be DLSS compatible. It's still gonna have high power, and this is probably the most boring topic that we talked about yet. But it is the most important one in my life right now, I guess.
Yeah,
so that sucks.
Yeah, your research do relate to that. And you have to take like make a big decision.
Yeah.
You gotta like figure out the exact details, the information. Yeah, and the internet can really help with that.
Yeah, the thing that you gotta do is like not make a bad decision and then justify it in your brain and like maybe like think like, oh, I guess recontextualize, this was a good decision, or like there was nothing else I could do. You gotta like get all the info beforehand and then make the decision, and don't get stuck into thinking, this is the thing. Don't get obsessed. You gotta keep your eyes open. You gotta keep your brain open for new ideas, for new possibilities.
Or if you have the money, and if you're careful enough not to like start justifying things to yourself, you could buy something, try it out, or
you could.
If you can buy something and return it, then yeah. If you can buy something but you can't return it, then obviously you want to.
Yeah, you can't really do returns, like especially for. I mean, in my country, I guess they've been getting better at that, but they are like putting every fucking roadblock to stop you from doing that. And
yeah, I don't really like returning, I haven't returned anything yet. I think that I've bought online just because it seems like a hassle.
Buying online is the worst. I always just try to like call and like get another human to approve a thing and like confirm things to me. If I'm buying from a site, I'm gonna call probably.
But then I have to talk to somebody, and clearly, being on a podcast, I don't like talking to people. Well, talking to you is good, but talking to a stranger, I guess you were kind of like a stranger at first.
Well, yeah.
Talking to somebody, to like a super stranger though, somebody that I've never met before and that doesn't share any of my interests per se. That's uncomfortable.
Well, they have an interest in doing their job and providing a service.
Yeah, and
you have an interest.
Be provided the service.
Yes.
Sort of. Except for maybe the social part. They can keep that.
I mean, if you use Amazon, you can probably get around that, because I don't have Amazon where I'm living, so that option is completely gone. Unless I want to pay exorbitantly for shipping or whatever.
I used to use Amazon from Germany, but they finally made an Amazon store in the Netherlands like a year back or something. Nice. Shipping from Germany wasn't too bad.
I'm kind of wary to like a fragile thing like a laptop in shipping.
Ooh, I can imagine.
I did get a CPU from China, because apparently CPUs like you can just put them in a box and you can rattle them about as much as you like, but there are no real moving parts in it, so they're just most likely just survive the trip.
Yeah, but how do you know that you got a computation processing unit and not a fucking Communist Party unit? Right? Legally speaking, they can sell it as a CPU.
I mean,
or a Crastinator's podcast unit without the Pro.
Only the cons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get yourself a PCPU so you can watch the PCP all day and inject PCP into your vein.
Yes. Speaking of the PCP, did you watch the new Nate video?
Nate video? I did not.
To viewers who are possibly not PCP adjacent or knowledgeable about, the Nate we talk about is BestGuyEver, youtube.com/BestGuyEver. He makes videos, and the latest one, he hyped it up with like a bunch of like every letter and a bunch of silhouettes per day, and that formed a logo at the end. And it's the MMICUL, the MMICUL, and it's just a weird mathematical equation that rates the how complex a thing can be before it's too complex and it's no longer good, and resources poured into it are no longer worth it. And I don't know who is supposed to use that. Like maybe video game developer, not indies, because indies are always like kind of focused. They don't have the time or budget to put a lot of superfluous stuff.
I guess he's starting a whole new field of science, the philosophy of gaming, the science game.
Yeah.
I think there's gaming science already, though.
And I feel like the only people who would be able to use it are AAA, and I doubt AAA people watch
the AAA people that watch the video and they're like, we already knew that. In fact, we have the MMICUL formula with just a bunch more M's added to it.
Yeah.
How surprising that all it took was just adding more M's.
I just sort of figure BestGuyEver should just make his low effort content more, and that'll be better.
It would be fun, I think. I haven't watched that podcast that he.
Yeah, the Gamer Zone. I want to watch it as well. I haven't as well.
Why haven't we
as
watched
you.
it? It's
even
there.
though it's the thing we want from him.
We want it, but it's
now,
like
now that we have it, like now that we have it, we take it for granted. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when you know a video is gonna be good, I haven't watched the MMICUL video exactly because I feel like, well, it's long and it's good. I want to take out a block of time for it. Now, okay.
Just do it while you're showering or eating.
Oh, eating, yeah, I could do that. Or drawing. Well, drawing for a video like that, you gotta have your eyes on the screen.
Yeah, that's
for a podcast.
That's
why I can do it while drawing.
I like do some makeshift MacGyvering to like make sure the phone is sitting in a nice little place and I can see the screen and I can hear the audio and I'm showering. And that does slow down my eating time and my showering time, but it is more efficient and more healthy than just watching it while looking at my PC sitting on my shitty chair.
But I do feel that sometimes, like for example, anime too. I feel like part of the reason is maybe a sort of perfectionism as to how I watch it. Or maybe it just seems like a lot of effort to get into an anime. In a similar sense, it can be a lot of effort to get into a video, even if it's not that long. So I guess, yeah, just watching it while I'm eating could be good. I guess I'll watch it during dinner today.
I haven't really watched any anime or movies recently, specifically because I don't like. For anime, you gotta read subtitles, and I like subtitles. I like hearing the Japanese language. I enjoy it a lot, and I don't want to sit in this fucking chair that I sit in while working, while video game playing, to do also movie watching and thinking. I guess only movie. That's the one reason I guess I watch at least a little bit more movies than anime recently, because you can do it from farther away. But there is no comfortable viewing distance that is not on my chair, and that's one thing that the laptop's probably going to help me with. I can watch more anime.
Wow, but the laptop screen's also going to be smaller, maybe. I don't know.
It's 15-inch. I figure that's fine, especially if it's closer. You can just put it whatever. Yeah, I did watch a lot more anime.
Vision? How's your eyeball? Or is sitting far away just like you can read it, but it's like just small. It's annoying.
My vision. I've been trying to get diagnosed to see is something wrong with my vision, but apparently it's fine. It's under this. It's in the standard of not having to get glasses. And sometimes I think it's just that sometimes like the lenses in my eyes focus lines sometimes have a hard time resetting. because sometimes I can just not read like bright text in the distance, like small bright text in the distance.
Huh.
But most of my everyday life, my eyes are pretty good.
Nice.
How about yours?
Well, first of all, joke time. I was going to suggest that you go to the doctor and the results come in and he says, yeah, you're blind. I don't know how you didn't realize, but yeah, you cannot see anything. So as for me, yeah, my vision's fine as well, I think. I haven't had any trouble with that. You would think that looking at a computer screen all day would do something to it, but so far I'm doing fine. And of course, that's what smokers say as well. They're like, well, I'm not really feeling all that bad yet, so whatever.
Apparently it's not because of watching monitors all day. It's because of the lack of variance in what your eyes' focus adjusts to all the time. Like, for example, you stay in a particular focus close to the monitor, close to the TV.
Yeah, close by.
And not changing that for hours at a time is bad. Yeah. And apparently old TVs used to be worse because of all the trembling images. That would kind of fuck up some lens stuff or whatever in your eyes. But these days, as long as you like turn away from your monitor and look around your room for like a minute after like every now and again, your eyes will probably be fine.
Oh, nice. That's why it's so good that we're doing a podcast, because it means you don't have to look at the screen all.
Yeah.
Listener, we're looking out for you. And you should be looking out of your window.
Because we're coming for you.
Yep. And it's like, look out your window, we're waving. It's like, hello. You can like hear us record the podcast as you're watching the video.
As you're watching us.
Yeah, and then you try to skip forward and it's like it's the same audio. Nothing happens. I'm sorry for this disturbing concept.
That's fine. Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Where are we at? We're like 2 hours in. We have a bunch of dead air. I guess it's gonna be like hour and a half, probably.
Yeah. Is there anything else? We've had a lot more stuff.
I mean, it's good. It's good. We got a lot of mileage out of this list. It was a good idea, I feel.
We don't have to say everything. We could leave it for another episode, of course.
Yeah.
We'll talk about MMICUL.
Well, what else is there to say about... I guess we could watch it, and then we could pause the podcast, watch it again, and then discuss it in depth.
I would have to make dinner first.
Yeah, that's too much time.
We'll watch it together. If both of us haven't watched it yet, maybe. But also...
Oh, man. I was planning kind of to mention everyone else's names that are have appeared on podcasts before and like why they're not here. I was gonna joke about Soup getting married, but I forgot.
Soup has been drunk.
Yes.
Death Perception has perceived the true shape of death and is trying to recover from the concept.
Yes, Stomp is stomping around.
He's stomping on roos. Kangaroos.
Normal Nomicon is conning on my dick.
He's reading the normal Nomicon, and he's becoming more and more normal by
the second.
By the second. Eventually, he won't even have a Discord account anymore. He'll be ungamered. And Lizard Goon, who just never been on the podcast because he's not technically a member.
He's not a Chadman, but he can be if he wants to.
Yeah, if you hit us up. In fact, I don't know.
Same with Dual Apocalypses and Flugmorph and Normal Nomicon. Hit us up.
Hit us up. If a viewer wants to join the podcast, though, I don't know if I want to open the gates entirely. We'd have to discuss that.
Well, at the very least, you can be a guest.
Yeah. Definitely. If you're in the comments, if you're in the
and you
you're
have
listening
something
right
interesting
now,
to talk about.
if you're out there in 2040, our first viewer, yeah, love to have you on, even though we're all already dead by the time you watch this,
Yes.
of old age.
Yes.
And Sinful is also
yes.
not here right now.
He is sinning around his country. I'm not sure if he revealed it. I'm not sure.
Oh, right.
Scandinavia. He's sinning around Scandinavia because he has a Scandinavian accent. There you go.
And it doesn't rhyme with sin. Bleep that out! Yeah, no, I don't. I do want to remove that though, because I feel like it's a breach of trust.
Kind of. We can just bleep it.
Bleep it out, but then people could infer it. They're like, "Oh, actually, hold on. What is the space of all possible puns that they would laugh at?" They like cross-reference everything. At that point, just fucking analyze his accent, dude.
Yeah. Well, if there is any viewer who is that astute,
if there are any
post
scholars,
in the comments.
Post in the comments. Discuss. Where are the podcast members from? What are our exact addresses?
Please don't.
Please do not dox us. Thank you for your attention.
I don't know. There used to be some Moldovan YouTubers at some point. I'm not sure if there are anymore.
You're the only one.
And I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a podcast person.
YouTuber.
I figure if we have such little viewership, we cannot call ourselves the tubes. The tube term.
Yeah, but then there's a lot of people who don't want to call themselves YouTubers because that's not what YouTube's just a platform that they use. It's not part of
it's
who they
not
are.
like I'm a Amazoner or a Googler.
Legendary Googler. This man searches something on Google every day.
Yahooer.
He checks the weather by typing weather into Google. And sometimes he even types Google into Google. That's just how Google he is.
Yes.
This hypothetical person. I don't know if... anyway.
Anyways, I think we hit our limit of improv creativity.
That's pretty good for 2 hours.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Probably the highest hour to talker to host ratio that we've got so far.
Yes.
So
we are putting in the work. Thank you very much for watching or listening. Yes. If you did. And bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.